What's going on, YouTube? How's everybody going? I hope everyone had a good holiday and Happy New Year's to everyone out there. And excuse me, I'm still getting over this COVID thing, but um, got a lot of requests to do a side by side with these two bad boys. You got the Samsung S95b on the left right here, 65 inch, and then you got the 65 inch A95k. I know it's at the end of the year and everybody's excited for CES 2023 with all the new TVs coming out, but there's still a lot of people out there that are still considering getting these two TVs. And it shows in the comments, that's for sure. But with that being said, I've been actually watching a lot of CES previews and things like that. A lot of the technology that's coming out, I'm excited about. We're thinking that MLA technology is going to be out for LG, hopefully this year. You got Hisense coming out with their own OLED TV. You got TCL potentially coming out with their own QD OLED. But anyways, there's a lot of different things and rumors and stuff going around. With that being said, Samsung, I think, has kind of really kept their mouths kind of shut on what they're going to reveal. Sony has been really low key on what they're going to be revealing. And it might have to do with these two panels in front of us right now on the camera, because as we all know, the S95b panel is basically the A95k panel. I mean, it's so Sony is using Samsung's technology in Samsung's panels. So that could be a reason why. Maybe they have some kind of agreement. They're not revealing anything because it's going to be basically the same again between these two for 2023. Hopefully, we get more screen sizes. I know that's what everybody's talking about. And hopefully, we can get some more brightness out of it without blowing out the picture and things like that. So, we'll see some improvements, I'm sure. But I'm excited a lot about LG and their MLA technology. I'm hoping that, a lot of people are saying they're nervous about, even though it's going to be up to 70% brighter than their standard OLED TVs, that they don't have the ability to, make it not look all washed out and crazy looking and horrible looking and things like that. So we don't know. We'll see. And but anyways, back to these two TVs here. A lot of people have been asking to do a comparison, and a lot of people have been asking to do comparisons specifically for gaming. So I am recording at 4K 60 hertz. So hopefully it uploads that way, and I think it will. The last video did. Let me just tell you guys right off the bat that they are both in standard mode. Their color is both at, I believe, 40% or 40, and the high contrast and it is all the way up for both of them, and they are not in game mode for each of them. And the only reason why they're not in game mode is because for some reason, I don't know why or how to get around it. I tried. Sony, when you put it into game mode, the picture dims so much. I don't really think this, and that's an HDMI port 3 or 4, and those are the 2.1 HDMIs. When you go into game mode, for some odd reason, it just dims automatically down. So even if you put the brightness up, the color up, whatever you do, it just still lowers the brightness in the picture. So I'm not a fan of playing video games and the picture being dark. I'm just not. I'd rather not be in game mode and sacrifice the performance if that's the case. When especially when I'm casually gaming. So that's one thing I would say the S95b has the upper hand in, because even in game mode, you're not losing the performance and brightness. And I don't know how Samsung is able to do it and Sony is not, unless Sony just chose to not. That's the only thing I can think of. But yeah, I think that's why I always said in all the comments and all my other videos, that's another reason that I like the Sony specifically, for more like a hardcore type of competitive gaming perspective, because you don't lose the brightness. It stays brighter than the Sony in that perspective, and you don't have to worry about, like sacrificing color and brightness and things like that, at least too much in the S95b. So that's my take on it. That's definitely my experience. And, I get a lot of it. But, if you look, the two TVs are obviously gorgeous. You can't go wrong. So they are both in standard mode right now. And, excuse me. And with the color, like I said, my last settings. And if you're going to be gaming, just to let you guys know, there is a little bit of a more of a lag response, or lower or longer response time when you're gaming on the S95b. I'm sorry, not the S95b, the A95k. There is a little bit more lag in the response time, so you can definitely feel it. But I'll use God of War, for example. Has anybody finished this game, by the way? I did, and I absolutely love the game. But just to do a picture comparison right now, just right up front, like if you look at the two, at first glance, they do look exactly the same. But you can see how, like, the detail is almost identical. So the only thing I must say is that I feel like the A95K definitely has more detail, at least in standard mode. And the reason why I say that is because I feel like the algorithm, or whatever you want to call it, that they have set up in the picture is so you're not really sacrificing detail over brightness, if I'm saying that correctly. That's the only way I can really think about saying it. I know there's a lot more to to do it than that, but that's personally what I think. And when you go to the S95B, the detail is definitely still there, you can tell, but just a little bit more washed out, and a little bit more lighter in the background. I don't think it looks as natural, but obviously you can tell it looks great. I don't know if you can see it like I see it. I'm trying to make it as close as possible. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the game, turn Ragnarok on, just so you guys can see the difference when the game loads. Like right off the bat, you're going to be able to tell, like in the intro, scene with like the background and the lighting. I noticed this when I was setting it up. The lighting is a little bit different in the background. Watch. So it's kind of funny how like they have a whole different perspective. But all right, so I don't know if you guys can tell, but you see how, and I made this as even as possible. So it looks very, very close, but you see how, like, if you look really close in the S95B, especially when you back up, like here, this area in the background where it's kind of like foggy, versus the A95K. If you just stop and just look, Like you see how it kind of has a little bit more of a pink hue to it. I don't know if you can tell on your end, but it's like no matter what you do, no matter what I do to get out that pinkish kind of peach hue, it's always there when you compare it to another TV. It's just I think that's just the way that the S95b has it set up, and you know, no matter how much you try to take it away, it's you'll do a good job doing it. Like, took me a while, but it's definitely always gonna be there no matter what. It's just no matter what I do, unless maybe I get it pro calibrated, maybe that'll work. But you know, I like playing with the settings myself and learning the TV in full before I do that. So just so I know when it gets calibrated, I can kind of understand the calibration better, you know? Anyway, so I'm going ahead and gonna hit continue. You can see the S95B kind of has a little bit of a more dirtier white screen, but look at the difference in the smoke. See how it's more blue on A95K, more gray on the S95B. Which one do you like better? And they're both on the same picture too. So now I'm gonna go ahead and just bring you to this scene over here. I like this realm because it's got a lot of color to it. When you look at the water, very, very similar. But like if you look at the background, like right here, like this area here. Watch. I'm going to back out so you can see them both. I don't know if you can tell, but there is a little bit more color to it. Oh, sorry. There we go. There is a little bit more color to it on the S95B than there is on the A95K. Now, that's more of a personal preference thing because, again, I'll get closer. And then I'm going to move to the A95K. So the A95K definitely has a more natural look, right? And I know you're playing a video game and a lot of gamers don't care about color accuracy, but I do beg to differ in a lot of moments like this because when you're playing certain games and you have like very scenic backgrounds and things like that, I do actually like the more natural look better. I thought when I thought that I didn't care about color accuracy, more natural look when you're gaming. I think it depends on what type of game or gaming that you're doing. So, for example, like if you're playing a first-person shooter, you know, Call of Duty and things. You're not really looking for color accuracy when you're playing online or multiplayer. You don't really care. You want as much color as you possibly can, whether it looks natural or not, because that helps you actually when you're playing, in my opinion. You can see the difference in contrast between the person you're trying to shoot and the background that they're at easier when the colors pop more. And that's, again, a personal opinion of mine. I can see them better than in a background that's more natural. And I can pick up on it quicker so I can shoot them faster when they're running or jumping or whatever they're doing, you know. So, or even just hanging there camping. So again, that's how I see it. But the other people will beg to differ, obviously. So in this scene right here, like what I want you guys to concentrate on is like if you look at the water, it's crazy because now this scene looks a little bit more dim on the S95B versus the A95K. Look at that. Like you see how like the reflections actually reflect more. Let me see if I can back up a little bit. Yeah. You see that? Then the if you look at the S95b, yeah, you get reflection. Don't get me wrong, but it looks a little bit more dim. It looks a little bit more faded than the A95k. Like it looks like you get a lot more reflection, and it's crazy because the A95k, yeah, has the 2.1 with the two ports, number 3 and 4. It doesn't have like the gaming response though that the S95b is, so it's gonna feel a little bit more laggy. I don't think it's really rigged as much as the S95b is for gaming as far as the performance goes. But the picture though, I mean, it just looks gorgeous. So like for me, when I'm casually gaming, I played the entire God of War game on the A95k because it's just so is that beautiful. I just love it because look at the just this scene alone right here can just tell you that the difference, and I think that's a big deal to me. So if you let's look at here, let's go a little bit more this direction here. I'm going to try to find an area that is a little bit more rocky. Here we go. All right. Here we go. All right, cool. I'm gonna stop right here because there's some good detail here in this scene. So now you're gonna see again, and it looks very, very similar in a lot of ways. But if you look at the S95b closer versus the A95k, right? All right. So here's one I want to show you. If you look here, like in this area right here, all the rocks versus the A95k, all right? Go back and forth. Watch, here's the S95b, right? Here's the A95k. And then I'm going to go back so you can see both of them. All right. So the S95b, like in those whiter areas over here, to me, I don't know if you guys can see it, it looks a little bit more washed out than on the A95k. Just a little bit more. So it does have a little bit more of an orange look to it on the rocks, like that whole area, than it does on the A95k. So again, most people like when you put these two next to each other is really the only time you'll see these minor, minuscule differences. You're not really gonna care. You know what I mean? So like people are probably like, oh, come on. Like, that doesn't, that like really no one's going to notice things like that. And you know what? You're 100% right. But there are a lot of people out there also who do care. And if you want more color accuracy, I think, and let's say you're not a big competitive gamer for, for consoles or anything like that. You would most likely choose the A95k over the S95b if money was no object, or you had the money to buy either one. Because if you have the money to buy the A95k, you obviously have the money to buy the S95b. Because right now, at the time of the video, the A95k is selling at $3,000 and $2,000 for the S95b. I think that's the lowest I've seen them recently. Just kind of checking out, online prices and stuff like that, just to see where they're at the moment. Since it's 2023, the prices have actually not gone down for like the past like 3 weeks or whatever it was. I know Black Friday they went down, and then they did go back up after that. So, but anyways, so yeah, so it all depends. I'm gonna actually turn around, and then I'm gonna go back. Tell me what you guys think while I'm doing this. Sorry, I'm doing this with one hand, by the way. But anyways, it's fun to do this kind of stuff because I like to see what people's perspective is. But all right, so now we're looking at the mountains and the clouds while he's rowing. So like, it's crazy because again, all personal preference. The S95b, as you can obviously tell, in the sky, hit the blue sky, is definitely more blue. Look at that. Isn't that crazy? And then on the A95k, it is definitely more natural, right? So it's crazy because even though I like the more natural look on rocks and like the water and things like that, I actually really, really like the way the S95b looks better than the A95k when it comes to like the sky and the details, like in the clouds. Like if you look at the cloud right here to the left, like you see how it has that shadow right there in the middle? Like look at that beautiful detail in the S95b that you don't really get in the A95k right there. You know what I'm saying? Like you get some of it, but you don't get as much as you do on the S95b. So it's weird. It's like a give or take kind of thing as far as the way the picture looks in the in each scene, you know? But again, if you're looking for like the best response times and things like that, yeah, you're definitely going to want to go with S95b. It takes the cake. There's no way around it. It's better for more competitive gaming. But casual gaming, though, yeah, I just personally think the A95k is more of a prettier picture, is my personal opinion. That's all I'm saying. So, now I'm going to take you to this other realm that has a lot more color. And I want to see what you guys think about this particular realm. So, do you guys, I know I asked if you finished this already, but let me ask you one more thing. Now, are you guys aware of the new game mode or not game mode, the new update that's coming up for God of War is going to give us a couple more new stories. I think one is of Thor's daughter, and the other one is going to come out later in the year. Not too much details at all, but it's going to be a whole other new story that they're adding to, and that is what I'm excited for. So, I heard it's going to be a huge, update. So I'm excited for it. I can't remember the realm that I was going to. Maybe it was not Helheim. Was it this one? Nope, not that one. Vanheim, maybe. Maybe it was Vanheim, and I just forgot where in Vanheim. But yeah, let's go to Vanheim because Vanheim is a pretty pretty realm too. Now I'm also going to show you guys some differences in the here. I want to show you this over here. This is a cool scene. So for the most part, as you can tell, it's going to look all the same, you know? As far as the sound quality goes for both of them, I mean, I really like both of them. I believe they're both either I think they're both at 40 watts, and they both will have a different type of sound to them. So that, in my opinion, will always be the same. Since I first look at this scene right here, since I first got the two TVs, so the A95k has a built-in speakers in the screen. They're more like actuators. So the sound comes out of the screen, and it's very dynamic. I would say yes, the bass is very good. The sound quality is very good. I like it a lot. On the S95b, what I like about their sound quality is I just feel like they have a more aggressive sound coming out of the speakers. And I feel like it's very immersive because it has more bass, in my opinion, than the A95k. And in those particular scenes where, like, there's bass, a lot of bass going on, or a lot of like ground shaking or thunder or anything like of that kind of noise in a game, I just feel like it sounds better in the S95B. But as far as like the way the sound bounces around through the room, like where the sound's coming from, like if there's a sound coming from the left and it moves to the right, you can feel that effect more in the A95K better than the S95B. So here's a scene I want you guys to check out. So like something more colorful, but you're gonna be able to tell, like right off the bat, it looks a little bit brighter on the S95B than it does in the A95K. But let's get a little bit closer of a look. Now, what do you guys think, like, of the colors and the way Kratos looks versus on the S95B versus the A95K? Do you think it looks a little bit different? Do you think there's more detail? I personally think there's more detail in the A95K. But here, I'll turn it back again. And I'll do a double shot right here. And I'm just trying to see what your personal opinion is, guys. That's all. So now I'm going to back out. Oh, the game's not in there. I'll put the game in for you guys. Just 1 second. All right, guys, here we go. So this is Need for Speed Unbound. I mean, look at how gorgeous these two TVs are. Look at that. All right. A lot of times, most of the time, especially when you have them set up so closely and similarly, they just look the same. Like, I don't really see a difference at all in these types of scenes here. So here you can, I mean, look at see how it has that pink hue on the S95B, just a little bit. It looks worse through the camera than it really does in real life, but it's still there though in real life, I will say that. But look at that. It's like you can't really come on. All right, so this is a good example because a lot of these scenes here will differ from each other. Like right here. All right, so now we're going to get closer. Here's the S95B. Look at the red in the Lambo. Look at his skin tone on the character, right? Look at the red on the Lambo. And look at the character's skin tone, right? So now, kind of like when you're looking at them by themselves, they look they. It's like you don't see a difference when I go from one to the other, but when I back up and then you look at them at the same time, you'll see that on the S95b, like his skin tone is definitely a little bit more kind of like orangish, darker, a little bit just more color in his skin tone, right? And here, I think he looks a little bit more lighter, less skin tone. Um, but I think it does look more natural. Um, I think this is a little bit more on the, color volume, like higher color volume side or saturated side. The reds to me and the Lambos look exactly the same. I don't really see a difference. The greens look exactly the same. I really don't see a difference at all. I think, if anything, the S95b, like you see right here, in the middle there, where it says friends, 0 friends online, that one, that green marker there, definitely is a little bit more highlighted than the A95k. But, at first glance, I mean, people aren't going to really pay attention to that. So it all depends. And then if you look at the background, on the top left corner over the S, you see how like there's that a more distinguished like light shining down, almost like kind of like the sun or some kind of light shining down towards the S. You don't see it as much as you on the A95k. It's like less of that, less specular highlight, I guess I can call that. So again, it's all personal preference. What you guys think is nicer, or what you like better, or anything like that. So, but yeah, you can tell like the green's a little bit more blown out on the S95b. I just started this game, so I'm not far at all, guys. I'm like 1 or 2% in, but look at that background. See how they look very similar. Not really much to, All right, so this is really cool. It's going to be hard kind of doing this with one hand, but let me see if I can. All right. Do you guys see like in the background? All right. So here, like in the background where the city is and the buildings are and the sky, do you guys notice how it looks a little bit lighter on the S95b than it does in the A95k? Like if I get closer, see the background? How it looks a little bit darker. And there goes the background on the S95b. So, it all depends like on what you guys like. I don't know. I don't know if you can even see what I see. But one thing I do know is that no matter which TV you go with, you're going to be happy. All depends on what your preferences are. All depends on what you think is important to you. Whether I would say most people are definitely going to be would go for the S95b. I mean, that's what I went for first, because of the price point. And then I fell in love with the TV. This is my primary competitive gaming TV. There's other TV, or there's other reasons why I like the A95k better than the S95b. And there's other reasons why I like the S95b better than the A95k. And in the comments, a lot of people are the same, you know. So if you guys are looking for like overall the best of the best, where you want build quality, where you want, um, let's say, more the best color accuracy, best, um, if you want better control over your settings, you're gonna be going with the A95k for sure. If you want best gaming capability, uh, lower response times, you know, and overall, just strictly a gaming TV and brighter colors, things like that. The cool part, the S95b is the way to go because, like I said in the beginning, is you don't when you go in game mode, you're not really it's not dimming like it, and it's a dramatic dim in the A95k. It's like I just can't play like this. It's like impossible for me to play with the screen this dark just because of game mode. So, and I know it's doing that to get better performance, like FPS and things like that. But I, when I'm playing casual, I don't really care about that. So, like RPGs and things like that. So, like God of War. So it's not a big deal to me at all. So let me know what you guys think. I would really like to know because it's all about helping each other. It's all about making sure that this community, this channel, is not about pro reviews. It really isn't. It's not about, I get a lot of people saying a lot of things like, you should do this, get it, you know, you're the way you're presenting it is not like the pro reviews, and it's because it's really not a pro review. This is more for an owner's personal experience with the two TVs and how I have the settings set up and how we all can help each other how to have the settings set up depending on what you're doing. So if you go in the comments on this channel, you'll see like the people that watch these videos that I post, they're looking for a non-pro review. They're looking for regular people like me and other people that probably have these TVs to tell you what their real experience is owning the TVs without having, the pro terminology or whatever you want to call it. I don't really know how to explain it, but just a pure ownership, genuine, review, and that's just how I feel. And trust me, I'm subscribed to all of these guys, all the pro reviewers, because that's how I actually determine which TV I'm going to purchase. So I follow them, get all the facts, get all that, and then I purchase the TVs, and then I give a perspective from a non-pro review, because I'm still learning as we go along, and I know you guys are pretty much the same as me, because that's why you're watching this video, because you just want to see a review of an owner. So and this is what this channel is all about. So I hope you guys follow. I really hope you guys like and can leave a comment and subscribe. Thank you so much for everything. And at the same time, I want to thank you guys all for your comments in all the videos. There's a couple of videos that I made, one a month ago with the G2 versus the S95b, and the other video that I just put out about about 10 days ago. Got a lot of comments on those, a lot of great suggestions in how to set up my picture settings. A lot of people helping each other out, and that's what this channel is all about, guys. So thank you for checking out the video. I really appreciate it. And if you guys can please hit a like, leave a comment. I'd really appreciate it if you subscribe. When the new TVs come out, I'm most likely going to be selling the current TVs that I have here and purchasing those and doing the same thing, reviews, ownership reviews, and things like that. So please, so if you subscribe and hit the notifications button, you'll be seeing those. And I'll be doing more reviews as I go along anyway. So if you guys have any questions or anything, please drop them in the comments as well. So thank you. Happy New Year. I hope everybody is prosperous. And I can't tell you enough how much I appreciate you guys checking my videos out. You don't understand. I don't think you'll ever understand how much that means to me. So it means the world to me, and I'm trying to get my picture settings better for you guys, get my camera recording better for you guys, and I am getting better, as you can tell, little by little, from my first videos to my current video now. It is getting definitely a lot better. So and that's all because of you guys and your suggestions. I read them all and I comment back. So thank you so much, and have a good one, guys. Take care.